discussing her parents' divorce, and she wept on kwa mitambo.
Yeah.
It is very painful for the children, but the parents think it's normal. Yeah, we enda nao ama ni mimi nitaenda nao. Wewe utakuja ukija kuwaona. You don't even talk to them. It's called culture change. Because they are used to a certain culture, a certain life. And now umeiondoa hata huwaelezi, you are treating them like pieces of furniture. It's like they don't have feelings. Some are attached to the girl, to the dad. I remember some time back I told you there's a complex called Electra complex that pulls the girls to the dad. There is Oedipus complex which pulls the boys to the mother. And now that bond, you are trying to break it because the two of you cannot agree. You are very selfish. And you should sit down with your children and tell them what is happening. And they must know. And that is why you hear some children saying, mi siendi mahali mi nakaa na dad. Most of the children. And I want to tell women today that even as happy as you are that you are separated with your husband, you have peace. Ujue kuna maroho ingine kama 3-4 ambao hawalali. Wewe unawapeleka bedroom, hawalali. Wanaenda shule hawasomi vizuri. Wanaenda Sunday school, they are wondering why did their parents bring them to church, and after all they came to church and they are not living like church. So we really confuse the children. I don't care who goes with them, but the answer here is they are unfair to the children.
Exactly.
Yes. And that is why I tell women, if your husband is not violent, maybe anakataa kusaidia ama he comes late ama mambo ambayo huwezi change. Mimi ukipigwa na ukatwe, ondoka, uende. But if he is not fighting, he's a calm man, you are only disagreeing on some principles, it's better to stick. For these children to see both parents, they feel very happy. And I told you, I'm getting clients who are between 30 and 33 coming for counseling, waondoe bitterness ile waliweka. In fact, one did not even want to hear about the mother because she left. And after she left, the father also married. So he ended up living with an auntie who was not well off. And he was coming from a very well off family. So mambo ya sausages na bacon inabadilika kuwa ugali ililala. How do you expect that child to? In the first place, the kid can't believe. He's asking himself, what is happening? I have a friend who lives in South Africa, and there is a time she was brought to stay with, she was taken to stay with her. The mother had not divorced, but she had a problem somewhere. And so they were brought to Shosho. And you know Shosho, what they pack for you? Cold tea, na ugali. She would scream all the way to school. Yeah. Until somebody had mercy on them and took them and gave them the good life.
A better life.
Yeah. So a lot happens to the children. And sometimes even we are unfair. When we reach our destination, let's say tumeenda na mom, unamsikia akiuliza, Mom, why did we leave dad? Mom, why are we here? Shut up. Don't want to be asked anything. Your dad is an animal. You are not explaining. You are worsening. He's an animal to you, not to the children. So tell them, I had to carry you because children stay with the mom, but dad will be coming to see you. I just want to have a peace of mind because dad at some time did not give me peace. They will understand. Because even grown-up kids, when they see the dad punishing the mother or madharau, some of them ask, they're in high school and they're asking their mothers, Mom, do you stick here just to be called Mrs.?
Exactly.
Mom, do you still care just because dad has money, you want money? You need your peace. Those are Gen Zs. And they talk the truth and they don't hide. So it's good to involve them.
The children.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Miongoni mwa mambo ambayo ama baadhi ya mambo ambayo umeweza kuzungumzia, later in the discussion we are going to come back to those same points so that we can expound on some things. Ila tukiendelea kwa jambo la pili that still involves the parent now, and in the same situation we often see or even experience women getting a lot of backlash from society, especially when they decide especially in situations kama ambazo umesema ya kwamba a woman can leave when there is violence, when there is emotional abuse, a woman can leave. So in situations whereby this woman has decided to leave the family, na kama, you know what, I can't do this anymore, it is always, according to society, it's okay for a man to just wake up one day and leave. Because that is a stereotype that the society has fed us, that a man can leave, but a woman cannot leave. So in situations whereby the woman has decided, I'm gonna stay. So a woman, what is a woman supposed to do? Anafaa kuwa na ujuzi wa kufanya mambo gani iwapo atabaki pale? And then number 2, do you think a woman has a right to walk away? Do you think a woman has a right to decide, I can't do this anymore, I want to walk away?
Life is different. Every home has its manual. Every family. My manual is not the other person's manual.
Yeah.
Also, the MOU between the husband and the wife. So they should go by that. Because sometimes it is good to agree to disagree. Because if a man has started drinking and he's drinking and he's coming late and he looks stressed, you, woman, should not ignore. Wacha kukasirikia kuja usiku. Look for the root cause. Why is this man drinking and he was not drinking? A woman was called a helper. Before you pack, try to find out what is happening. And if you find it's something psychological, get him help. You are the helper. If he can't hear you, call the brother. Call the best man. Tell him things are not good. This man is drinking. And at night he's talking to himself. That shows the alcohol has affected the brain cells. So he's getting hallucinations. If you pack and go and leave such a man, who will help him? It is not always that men do things to hurt us. Sometimes they also get sick, just like we get sick. Sometimes they go out there for business and they are let down. They end up into depression. It is you to note the differences. Kama alikuwa naongea na haongei. Kama akija job, anajifungia hata ameenda rumu ingine. Hataki kelele ya mtu na hataki kuongeleshwa. You should not go abusing him. Anajifanya ni arrogance. No. Find out and tell him we need to see somebody. If he refuses and tells you he's okay, get a friend. Get the best man. Get even a pastor and let him be talked to. And he might agree even to go for treatment or counseling.
Or even counseling.
Yeah. So some of the things our men do, let us not just conclude, this one is drinking too much, I'm going. This one is not talking to me, I'm going. Your man could be suffering from bipolar, and bipolar is mood swings.
Yeah.
This time he's talking, and I'm talking about a man, but even a woman can be the same. Let this man not pack. Let him get help for the wife. Yes.
And so in situations whereby the two parties have decided to separate, lakini let me tell you, there are specific people who decides to use that scenario to punish the other party. For example, nimejua ya kwamba the dad, mtu amejua ya kwamba this man is so attached to the children, so if I went to the kids as a man, I will deny you the right to see the kids. And if the man is one who went with the kids, and I know, and the man knows for sure that these children are attached to the mother, what is he gonna do? He's going to deny the children the right to see the mother.
Which
So
is
in
worse.
such a situation, how talk to such kind of people?
If anyone is refused their children, there is the law. Go and see the children's lawyer and say what is happening, because yule ambaye amekataa na watoto anachezea rights za hawa watoto to see their mother. If it's the father, anachezea watoto vibaya. If it's the mother, the same. So yule ambaye amekatazwa, wacha aende afuate law. Kwa children's, we have lawyers who fight for children. Enda uandikishe, so that even if you are not together, at least you get access to your children, so that they don't get sick. You know, do you know there is counseling for children?
Yes.
We are doing counseling to children who we say it's called children trauma. Na trauma inaletwa na wazazi. Wengine wanapigana in front of them. Wengine they have just wamebeba watoto tu na hawaambii wanaenda kwa nini, wameacha dad kwa nini. Ukienda na wao unawatukana wakikuuliza tuliacha. Trauma over trauma. So for such parents, wacha wajue hakuna mtu alizaa mtoto peke yake, na hata kama mmekasirikiana, mmechukiana, whatever, these children were not innate. So let them have access for both parents. Yeah.
Because there are so many things that when adults are making decisions, they do not take into consideration that maybe these children are going to go through a traumatic experience that is going to affect the children. So when in relation to that, when people are getting into marriage, when people are getting into relationships, nobody gets into that marriage, nobody gets into that relationship with the aspiration ya kwamba I'm gonna get into this marriage and at some point I will not make it work. These things happen because issues of life, the way the dimension that life has taken people, such things are likely to happen. So how important do you think it is to address or even talk to the children before some of these things happen? Watoto wakae wakijua, you can even talk to the children and tell them because of several issues, there's a likelihood this thing is going to take a certain dimension.
It's very important because by the time you are leaving, they know anytime we can leave. By the time you are leaving, you have told them you leave them with dad and auntie and you'll be coming.
Yes.
It's like you have prepared them. Not like when you are carrying boxes and tell them, out, out, out. They get more confused. But such children, wacha niseme generally, watoto wa watu walioachana, they are bitter until they go for counseling. Some get into marriage themselves and do the same things. Because like I told you the other day, monkey see, monkey do. But sometimes as they grow, they say, me, I won't be like that. But they can go with that spirit. Kama baba alikuwa anapiga mom kumdiscipline, I also discipline my wife. Hata kama hajakosa, ameongea pengine jina moja. So I think the best thing is to talk to the parents. And there are some separations whereby they end up coming back and life continues.
Yes.
And me, I always tell people, it's good to let the other one have a break. Aende akae, have a meeting with themselves. Then, after some time, muongee, muambiane, apart from sisi kuchukiana, kupigana, kufanya nini, we have the children. We took them to the best schools, but you are not giving the best life. So let us persevere and bring up these people. Unaona wanarudiana. Wengine wanaenda kabisa. Unauliza kwani mtu alikuwa ameweka mtu wapi? Ametoka na ameolewa. Mtu mama ametoka na ameleta mwingine. Na instead of even talking to the children now, because you saw your mother went, I have brought another mother who will be taking care of you. Wengine wanaona tu mtu anatoka bedroom ya babake na anakuja kuambia karibuni chai. They were not prepared. This is all trauma. And if counselors can tell you what they are told by grown-up young adults who want to get married but they are still confused at what their parents did, let parents take a second thought. Think before you leap.
And I think that is a very dangerous scenario of even how these children end up becoming. And umesema jambo la muhimu tena sana, ukasema talk to the children. Now, while talking to the children, what kind of information as a parent is someone supposed to be releasing? Kwa nini nauliza hivyo? Kwa sababu unapata kuna wazazi ambao they start like, your dad did, your dad is like this. So what kind of information is,
you can't tell children, like you can't tell children your dad did this. Just like the way we say you can't discuss a pastor. Touch not my anointed and do no harm to my prophets. This man is a high priest. Whatever he's doing or wherever he is, he's a high priest, anointed of God. And it is God who said, let us make a man in our image.
Yes.
He should be treated like the God of that home. Hata kama ni mbaya, let the children see a high priest. Let the children see their dad. Don't add mambo mengine yenu. Kama mtoto aliambiwa na Kikuyu na mamake, babako kazi yake ni kumbana. So kanaenda kanauliza, shosh, kumbana ni nini? You're teaching them even language that they don't know. And the grandmother really got shocked. The makosa, wacha mu discuss the two of you. If there's anything you can tell those children, is tell them the truth. We are not agreeing with dad. And because we don't want to fight, I want to go a bit and rest, then I'll come back. You see, that is positive. Usiende kutoa yote. Excuse me, ama mwanaume anaenda kuambia watoto mama yenu ni buri. Ni mwanamke buri, mchafu nini. No. Don't discuss your spouse with the children. Just tell them of what is about to happen. And when they ask you why, tell them, I'll tell you when you are bigger. When you are big girls, I'll tell you the reason. But I have come back. You see, you have given them hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Hata kama unajua utarudi.
For sure.
Yeah. Give hope to the children.
I've loved the fact that you have stated two important points. Be aware of the children's age. You can't just say anything. And then the other factor, keep it real. Tell them this is what is happening, but 1, 2, 3, 4 logistics are going to be considered after a certain period of time. Because I do not believe it is okay to just communicate or even tell these children things just openly. Jinsi ambavyo umeweza kusema, mtoto alisikia aliambiwa na mzazi wake, mamake mzazi kitu, kisha and you know they go saying those things to their friends, even at school, even at church. They can just say anything. Kwa hivyo, that is a very, very important factor to consider. And then, jambo jingine ambalo umeweza kuzungumza, when you're talking to the kids, the reason as to why do you think some parents have that fear of talking to the children, of talking to them and telling them this is happening, so this is what is going to happen?
You see, both of them doesn't want the children to see like they are the cause. So if I go to tell my children we are going, they might ask me, why are we going? And I'll explain. So here, dad is the bad one. Dad comes and says, from today, I don't want mom in our house. Because we are not agreeing. Si tumesema usiingilie ndani sana. So none of them want to approach the children. Because they feel the trust those children had will go. And that is why they just act. Children wanaona sinema za kupack masaduku, kubeba, kuenda, kuitisha Uber ama kuchukua gari unaenda nao. You are adding more trauma. So discussion is very good. And like I told you sometime, communication is the best life skill. Communicate to the children. And don't rush to go to the US. Don't rush to go somewhere else. You can do a lot here as you watch over your children. Now you can imagine you're my sister. I'm annoyed by my husband and I have money and my passport is always ready. So ukinikasirisha, ninakuachia, akinikasirisha, na kuachia watoto, ninaenda another trauma. Their auntie is not their mother. So wanaulizana, kwa nini mama alitutoa kwa dad, akaja kutuleta kwa auntie? They get more confused. Yeah.
And you know, there are people who think by them not disclosing some of these things to their children, they are protecting them. Yet they are doing them more harm.
More harm. No, there is no protection there. It's more harm. And that is why I don't like the way people condemn Gen Z, millennials, because they have gone through hell. And so now they are grown up and they want their rights. Kule nyumbani hawagaitisha rights. Now they are asking for their rights.
Okay. Mrs. Kiama, one of the things that I would like our viewer to understand, there are several factors that you have spoken about and that are very, very important for them to put into consideration just in case some of these things happen. Number one, the reason as to why some people will not talk to their children, they have the fear of being asked questions. Kwa sababu unajua unaweza ambia mtoto, unaweza mweleza several issues are happening in our family, several things are happening between me and dad, but you know what the child will tell you? Just forgive dad, just forgive mom, and we move on. Na unapata ya kwamba apparently either of the spouse is not in that space of forgiving. Why? Kwa sababu alisha make up mind yake ya kwamba I'm not gonna do this, because kuna watu ambao wanajipanga wakiwa katika relationship ama wakiwa katika ndoa, anajua huyu nikimwacha naenda pale. And then another thing, they think that children will not understand some of these things. And someone said it is disrespectful to the children for you to think that they do not understand, for you to think they cannot see what is happening.
But these are bright kids who are telling people to forgive each other. And these are the same parents who have taken these children to church school, Sunday school. And they have been taught the Lord's Prayer. Forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And now you who took me to Sunday school and told me to be saying that prayer, and I forgive my friends, now you here, my parent, you are telling me you can't forgive dad, you can't forgive mom. Again, confusion. Are these real Christians? They can't forgive each other? So, hii unasema mtu hupanga kitambo. By the way, divorce starts a long time.
Yes.
It's not that day. Mtu anajipanga pole pole. So instead of wasting all that energy, na nilisema if somebody is not violent, use your energy positively by praying for your spouse to change, by talking to him and telling him these things are not okay. Communication. By the way, the reason why you see a lot of divorce is people are not communicating. They are just acting. You annoy me, I'm in the bedroom, kwa watoto nalala huko, and I don't tell you what. Now these kids, you wonder, why is mom sleeping with us? And her bed is in. Yani the dramas we do, they are many. And I would wish parents could listen to the children. Mom, forgive him. Dad, forgive him. Because forgiveness brings healing. You will heal. And of course, ukiniambia umenisamehe, I don't think I can do that thing again, although men repeat very many times.
They have forgotten.
They forget.
And then there's a very important aspect that I want us to bring forth here. Hiyo issue ya kwamba tunasema ya kwamba tunaona ya kwamba these children can't see, these children can't understand yet. Kuna mtu alisema some of these adults wenye tunaonanga they're very mad and even upset with everyone. It's as a result of things that happened in their childhood, divorces that were not explained, things that happened in between them and their parents that were not explained. And truth be told, you go and approach your parent and tell them, Mom, you did this to me, Dad, you did this to me. There's a very high possibility they can't remember. And even if they remember at some point, for the fact that they, at that particular point, they did not think that that thing affected you that way, they might even at some point blush that off. So, and it becomes very dangerous for your childhood to show up in your adulthood. It becomes a very, very dangerous thing. So talk about that.
Actually, I have had about 4 clients who are in diaspora, who were very bitter with their mothers. And that is why I say, we mama, unabeba mtoto, unabeba watoto, unaambia tutoroke. By the way, when they grow up, they start asking you, dada hakuwa ametukosea, ulitutoa huko kwa nini? We ndiye mbaya, na wanamchukia. I have had to reconcile about 4 girls with their mothers who are in Kenya. They've been very bitter with their mothers for divorcing their dad and leaving him. Some dads, 2 dads died during the divorce, and the girls were very bitter. So the reason why even the Bible says God hates divorce, I think the repercussions are not good. And I wish we can communicate and talk. But the woman we have today is an empowered woman. Utamuletea kinyuriro, ataenda na atakuacha. But all said and done, our children matter, and we want to bring up the best. We cannot bring the best when you are showing them violence, when you are showing them kutukanana, when you are showing them separation. They wonder what it is all about.
And then they end up growing up confused because, just like the way you had said, because you see parents tell us, don't do this to your sister, don't do this to your brother, yet that is what you are doing to their mother.
Dad or the mother.
That is what you are doing to their father. So they end up becoming very confused people.
Preaching water and drinking wine.
Exactly. Kwa hivyo tukimaliza sasa, Biwanjiro Kiama, what do you think the viewer is supposed to take home?
The viewer is supposed to take home that communication is the best life skill. If we start communicating early, we won't pile bitterness, which will stay in us until we burst and go. But if you keep communicating, this person is not a fool, atasikia, na atachange. And you might find yourself now living well. There are couples I talk to, and wakiwa kwa ofisi wanasema, hapana, huyu haturudiani. Then they go and talk. There is a couple I told to go to Naivasha, alone, waache watoto, wakaongee. And so I told them, when you come back, after 2 weeks, I want you to come. So when they came, they were holding hands. They went and talked it all, and they were happy. And even now we talk, they are very happy. Communication. Because mambo mengine unakuja kusema kwa kansela na hujaambia Bwana alikufanya. Unakuja kusema kwa kansela na hujaambia Bwana alikusema. Let us learn to communicate, because it's the best life skill. And when tukifinywa, let's try to forgive, because forgiveness brings healing. Yes.
Asante sana Biwanjiro Kiama kwa kuweza kutenga muda wako kuja mahali hapa tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba niseme jinsi ambayo tulisema hapo awali ya kwamba a nation without stable families cannot be a nation, na tuko hapa kujenga mazingira ambayo yanahakikisha mimi na wewe mtazamaji wetu pia anapata uhuru wa kukua na vile vile kujiendeleza katika jamii. Mtazamaji, ila kwa kudra zake Mwenyezi Mungu, tupatane wakati ujao.